Hi, my name is Bryce. Welcome to VHS Play, where we are going to be playing Final Fantasy VI. That may say 3, but that's just how things were when I was a kid. We're going to be playing some Final Fantasy VI and recording it all on VHS. If you're new around here, that's what I do. I record games, usually older ones. You'd be surprised what you can hook up to a VCR these days. And I record all the footage on VHS because ultimately, I like the way it looks, and also it gives me a literal nostalgia filter because memories, much like VHS footage, are blurry and fuzzy and not quite the right color. And otherwise, it also gives me, for like these pixel art games, it gives me that kind of blurry aspect that old CRTs had. So it's not pixel perfect, and I like it that way. So, hey, I need to make sure I hit a button fast enough here, because if this intro starts playing, then we get locked into it, and you can't actually escape it, aside from hitting the reset button, which I've had to do several times in trying to record this. I really like the swirling piano music here. There we go. Got it. Nailed it. Oh, okay. So, Final Fantasy VI. Give me half a second here. Ultimately, like, Final Fantasy VI has long, I have said, that it is my favorite Final Fantasy. And, it's one of those white whales of a Let's Play that I've been wanting to do. I want to do Final Fantasy VI justice. And I won't. Simple as that. Because I'm just a goofball, and this game deserves better than I. And then words, it deserves better than the likes of me. However, I adore this game. It has always been a favorite of mine, and has long been my favorite Final Fantasy. And the timing of this kind of lines up perfectly with the pixel art, like the pixel remaster is coming out fairly soon for Final Fantasy VI, and also back in December we had the Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker expansion, which blew me away and has made me question, is Final Fantasy XIV my favorite Final Fantasy now? And sheer number of hours played, it would point in the direction of Final Fantasy XIV probably. But I don't know. Final Fantasy VI has always been, it's just always been there. And like, yeah, that's kind of the point of this playthrough. It's just like, I just want to go back and experience this game and like, kind of analyze my feelings about it. Because that's a hard thing to do. And why not, I guess. I do also really love this opening and everything about this game, so I will try not to prattle on too long before we hit this new game button. And I'll try not to prattle on too much about the music, but we have to kind of immediately acknowledge the opening of this game with the dark and stormy skies, the like overbearing organ, and everything is just like, it's so powerful. It is just an absolute shocker of an opening. And like, I think Final Fantasy V was like the first of the numbered Final Fantasies to not have the prelude, which is playing now, as like as the opening song. But its tune is that of High Adventure, whereas this is just like a deep foreboding, and then you give way to like the swirling piano melody as you pan down to what will become apparent as the city of Narsh. And yeah, I don't know. It's just like, that music sounds like snow to me, and it sounds like turmoil, and it sounds like just all of this mix of swirling everything, and I'm going to be analyzing the heck out of the music. I'm sorry. I said I was going to try not to prattle on too long. I'm going to. So, wahey, strap in. Hopefully this is going to be a good time. I'm sorry ahead of time about the voices for all of the characters. My vocal range is not great. And yeah, again, I think this game deserves better than I will be able to give it. But you know what? I love it. That's as simple as that. I love this game. I think only the last order of business is whether or not I call this this playthrough Final Fantasy VI Super Nintendo or whatever, versus like Final Fantasy 3 US. I of course will be colloquially saying Final Fantasy 6 because I have, trained myself after, growing up with the internet and learning that, hey, there were no like 4 through 6 that got lost between this game and Final Fantasy 7. Old news. Anyway, so yes, Final Fantasy 6, it refers to this game. Final Fantasy 3 US kind of refers to this cartridge, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Let's just hit new game and get rolling. Long ago, the War of the Magi reduced the world to a scorched wasteland, and magic simply ceased to exist. 1,000 years have passed. Iron, gunpowder, and steam engines have been rediscovered, and high technology reigns. But there are some who would enslave the world by reviving the dread destructive force known as magic. Can it be that those in power are on the verge of repeating a senseless and deadly mistake? And again, with like the swirling melodies, the music in this game is so heckin' good and so like intrinsically tied to all of the narrative as well. And I will ramble my brain out all over that, so apologies. There's the town. Hard to believe an Esper's been found intact there, 1,000 years after the War of the Magi. Think it's still alive? Probably, judging from the urgency of our orders. This woman, this sorcerer, why is she here? I heard she fried 50 of our Magitech armored soldiers in under 3 minutes. Not to worry, the slave crown on her head robs her of all conscious thought. She'll follow orders. We'll approach from the east. Move out. And then you have this beautiful credits sequence, and we have like the first taste of Terra's theme. I mean, just gosh dang. Mode 7 sure was a thing, and it blew our tiny child minds back in the day. Like this kind of 3D. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I remember as a kid at some point that I determined that like it was around the time that I was realizing it's like, wait, people actually make games. These names in the title, like in this screen, are like people who have actually made this thing. And I took it upon myself to remember, it's like, you know what? The last person in these credits, the last name in the credits, that's who my personal hero is going to be. And to some extent, I've held on to that because, as it turns out, that person is very important when it comes to bringing Final Fantasy to the Western audience. And people, like, there seems to be some sort of weird group of people that complain about the translations in this game. But like ultimately they serve their purpose. They got me into Final Fantasy. They told the story and the narrative and everything and made me love these characters and this game and this world and everything about it. So clearly they did a pretty good job. Also, I do love that Terra's theme gets cut short and is replaced with the Empire's theme. Like a whole, like, ties into her having the having that slave crown. And there you go. Last name in the credits, Ted Woolsey. So yes, I will not hear naysaying in the comments about Woolseyisms and whatnot. think, honestly, he did a great job. And again, love this game, playing the original translations. So, heck, works for me. Let's put her on point. No sense taking any risks. Forward. Imperial Magitech armor. Not even Narsha's safe anymore. Then we have the fun times with, hey, you get to be completely overpowered here in this opening section. Which serves several purposes. Like, on one hand, it's part like game tutorialization of, hey, here's the battle system, here's how things go. And it also, like, mechanically shows how powerful Terra is. Narsha's freedom depends on us! Lobo, no. Pet the doggo with fire beams. But, like, you have Vicks and Wedge, which, of course, those are, like... Again, Woolsey did his best, and I appreciate that. They have clearly come down of just like, no, this is Biggs and Wedge, in later years, and makes that whole Star Wars influence on Final Fantasy a lot more apparent. But they're you know, if you know anything about Japanese, like that he translated Vicks, like instead of Biggs it was Vicks, like it makes sense. Anyhow, I'm full on rambling at this point. No, we've got him trapped now. But they introduce pincer attacks and all this stuff. Things that are important to the actual gameplay. And they also show you just like how powerful Magitech is, and they show you how much more powerful Terra is, that she has access to all of these extra skills. We must defend the mines! Of course, Final Fantasy VI uses the active time battle system that I believe, if I remember correctly, that was pioneered in Final Fantasy IV. It's honestly just kind of a terrifying skill of just like, and gone. Forgot, we don't even get Narsh music until later. We only get the Howling Winds for now. According to our source, the frozen Esper was found in a new mine shaft. Maybe this one? Where are rats? I have just made a realization about these enemies that I have never thought about. And that is, I always thought the big red blob at the top of their head was their eyes. No, that's like the inner part of their ears. They have little beady rat eyes. So, well, hey, I learned something today. No, my save point. I'm kind of just reeling from that realization. Honestly, like, these enemies are so much cuter than I ever thought they were. I always thought they were like really horrific giant-eyed beasts. An eerie glow surrounds you. Want info on save points? You know what, why not? At a save point you can use a sleeping bag or a tent and also save the game. If you should perish, you'll automatically be able to play from your last save, though any GP, treasures, etc. you found will have to be found again. Your level and experience data will be retained. This is something that's really cool about Final Fantasy VI, is that they essentially have, like, this allows you to continue on and, like, do less grinding, essentially. If you have run into a problem and died, you keep your level and experience and everything. And that's really kind of that's a really smart way to... It's a really smart way to, like, reduce the grind and, like, kind of have a somewhat dynamic difficulty of just, like, if you have gotten yourself into a loop of hacking up and just, like, you know, going to a boss and you got, like, 5 levels and then you fought this boss and you haven't saved for a while, it's at least you're going to keep your levels so that as you're going through, you don't have to do that again. Anyway, you can save anywhere on the world map. Alright, goodbye, old save. Oh, so I've been intending to play this game through again for a number of years. And every time I do, I get, like, a fair way into the game and then, for whatever reason, end up getting distracted. And part of that is I've realized how some of the other game systems work, and I get kind of stuck into the optimization loop and kind of try to suck the fun out of the game. So I'm going to try not to do that this playthrough. I'll handle this. Stand back. Also, I pointed out that we didn't have the Narsh music, and now we do. We won't hand over the Esper. Welk, get them! That dang good boss music. Hold it. Think back to our briefing. What about it? Do you recall hearing about a monster that eats lightning and stores energy in its shell? Right, so whatever you do, don't attack the shell. Alright already. This boss music is so good. Grew. Alright, well, let's see if we can save Vicks. Megavolt. Alright, I forgot that hits everybody. Brew. I do love all the things about this opening as just like an introduction to the battle system and like an introduction into like the unique things that they're going to do with the battle system. Groo. This is kind of a weird thing about, like, God, I do love that boss defeat effect. That is always one of my favorites. So, I was going to have a slight ramble about, like, the things about, like, playing the US releases of Final Fantasy and, like, going from Final Fantasy to US, which was, of course, Final Fantasy 4, skipping 5 and going to 6, is just, like, you did kind of see, like, these bigger jumps between the games. And, I mean, that's not to say that 5 isn't a big jump, because, like, it re-envisioned the whole job system and, like, does a lot of interesting stuff. I've never finished playing 5. I started it finally, and the narrative is not keeping my interest as much as I would prefer. That's not to say it's bad. It's just, like, I don't know, I keep getting lost is really the biggest thing. Is just like, there's a lot of map, and there's going to be more map, and I just, like, it keeps kind of dumping me off, and it's just like, okay, where do I go now? It's like, I don't actually know. Anyway, back to jumps between Final Fantasies. It's like seeing the change in the battle system, and also we have like active versus wait. So wait, this should, if I remember correctly, work in the same way as the other Final Fantasies with the active time battle system, where wait will allow me to like dig through spell lists and whatnot without the time moving forward in battle. There we go. Lost my train of thought mid-sentence. Also, something that I do really love about this game is that it actually has multiplayer support. You can have you can hook up different characters to control on different controllers, which is fascinating, and it was something that I got to do as a kid with, and that I thought that was neat. There's also all the different Windows effects. Hello, Chocobos. We're just going to leave everything on the standard. Anyway. I actually wanted to just check on the active versus wait. I couldn't remember what the default setting was, and I'm good with wait. So, well, hey, enough rambling about systems and stuff. Let's do story. This is the Frozen Esper. Hey, what's the matter? Do you know something we don't? Again, the music's so good. It's just like this fantastical, mystical, mysterious music. It's just, mwah, love it. The frozen creature began emitting an eerie light. Where's that light coming from? Hey, Wedge, where are you? What's happening? And here we actually get Terra's theme. For real, for the first time. Which, I'm going to say, it's so good over and over again, but like, again, you have kind of this almost swirling aspect to the melody. And just like aspects of the music, they're just kind of swirling, like communicating the lost and just, I mean, we'll see here in a second, but like Terra is confused and lost and not entirely sure about things, and like that confusion, just like right there, that. Like, if I remember correctly, that's actually like in stereo, which is a shame that I'm recording on mono, because that's what my VCR supports. So apologies that the music is not in stereo. I highly recommend looking up like the original soundtrack in full and getting those stereo effects. And I believe that effect is actually in stereo. So you have like those notes jumping between left and right. And like, it is a little bit dizzying. And oh, I love this theme. I love this music. It's so good. It's Let's actually get to some of the story stuff so I can talk about more of it. Where am I? Whoa, and I only just removed the crown. Head hurts. Easy. This is a slave crown. The others had complete control over you while you were wearing it. I can't remember a thing. Don't worry, it'll all come back to you. In time, that is. A mysterious young woman controlled by the Empire and born with the gift of magic. We're going to leave names as they should be. The only thing I'm questioning is whether or not I want to do all caps or do the classic lowercase the things. I'm going to just leave everything default, I think, because it fits in better with like the characters you don't get to rename. My name is Terra. Impressive. I've never heard of anyone recovering this fast. Open up! Give us back the girl in the Empire's Magitech armor! Open the door! We want that girl! She's an officer of the Empire! Empire? Magitech armor? Look, I have to get you out of here. I don't have time to explain. Over here. I'll be right there. Let me just, there. God, this pixel art is so good. Like, okay, so we have, like, the character pixel art is already just phenomenal. And, like, this is kind of the big step up that they did between, Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy VI. And, like, that's kind of one of the big technological jumps, is that they decided to use these, oh, what is it? Is it 16 by 32, I think, for the sprites, instead of like 16 by 16 squares. And they just upped their game so much in the fidelity and everything with the pixel art, and just love it. Anyway, so yeah, like Terra right now has amnesia from the slave crown, so like her theme having like all of this aspect of like being confused and lost, like it carries through more than just this, but like as the opening, and this is like the first rendition of her theme that is like actually properly hers, like it's got this lost and this lingering sorrow and just like this what's going on. And it's just so heartfelt, and I love it. It's so good. I'm going to constantly ramble about that, so be warned. That's this playthrough, I suppose. Make your way out through the mines. I'll keep these brutes occupied. She's up there! Save. Don't mind if I do. Sorry, Wedge and Vicks, you are dead. Evaporate. 2 of them. I do love that little, like, angry stance for when the character's, like, like, when you've selected attack and the character is preparing to attack. Like, I do just love that little, just, scowl. Treasure. Right, Phoenix down with an F because of character counts and such. Sleeping bag, hooray! So, I guess I should say that I am playing with my favorite old controller that is an ASCII-ware or something or other. That actually has, like, you know, turbo and auto button switches, which is handy for... It's great for RPGs. Like, it's such a nice feature, being able to just, like, turn on, like, being able to turn a button onto auto and just, like, automatically select fight for these early fights where, like, things aren't particularly interesting. And, like, being able to get into it and out of it so fast. And, like, you know, a lot of newer RPGs now have, like, an auto battle feature. And just, like, flat out, I guess I've always been accustomed to having that because of this controller. Anyway, got her! I adore the pixel phasing effect. Oh, geez. My sweet little magic user. With this slave crown, I'll practically own you. Good. Burn up everything.
We stand on the brink of a major breakthrough. In the days to come, we'll witness a total revival of magic. It is our destiny, and ours alone, to take this mystic force and claim what is rightfully ours. With our newfound power, nothing can stand in our way. Hurrah! Long live Emperor Gaston!
Not. I forgot that I had to come up with a voice for Kefka quite so quickly.
Took you long enough. How goes the robbing and plundering trade?
Treasure hunter and trail-worn traveler searching the world for relics of the past. And again, with the music. Suddenly we have the heroics and the bombast, and just like, it comes in. This is like the first chance that we've had for heroics and bombast. We've had like the battle music that is a little bit more along those lines, but here we have just flat out Locke's theme with the bombast and the whole Big Bang Orchestra. I prefer the term treasure hunting. Huh, semantic nonsense. There's a huge difference. I'm not quite happy where Locke's voice has landed, we'll figure it out. Anyway, were you the one who sent for me?
Yeah, there's a girl I'd like you to meet.
What? This better not have anything to do with the magic writing Imperial witch.
Imperial troops are pursuing her even as we speak. This town is no match for the Empire. Our independence can only be assured if we join forces with the Returners, an underground resistance movement.
That was a brief aside to the player, quite frankly.
As you know, that girl wasn't responsible for her actions. We must get her to understand our dilemma.
Alright. I think we'd better help her.
Agreed. Make your way to first to Figaro and talk to the king. Now we gotcha.
Wonderful. There's a whole bunch of them. Kubo.
Mules?
You're saying you want to help me? Kubo. Use us to save Terra from the guards. Need more information? You know what, let's go ahead and see it. You'll fight using 3 different groups. Press the Y button to switch between them. Your job is to defeat the commander of the guards before his men reach Terra. Save her, or else. So, this is this is where we, like, start seeing the transition into, like, the giant pot that Final Fantasy VII turned into, where it's just like, just every little game design idea seemed to end up in that game, and they managed to pull it off somehow. And like, there's kind of this whole, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Minigame soup, I guess, in Final Fantasy VII, and you start seeing the seeds of that here in Final Fantasy VI. Like, already we're opening up with this like weird little command style game with Kupek, Kupop, Kumama. And we get our good boy Mog, the best. Cuckoo, Kutan, Coupon. Master New Dance, hooray! And Kushu, Kurin, Kuru, and Kamog. Like, quite frankly, they were just kind of showing off here. Like, just flat out, they're showing off their ability to, like, make this more active than, like, your older RPGs. Let's turn on some auto. Yeesh. But, like, this feature does actually feature throughout this game a few times of we'll have, like, these kind of command mission sort of moments like this, where we get to control multiple parties and everything that gets, you know, kind of entailed with that. And why not? Let's have Mog do a dance. Just dead. Good times. Good times indeed. But throughout all of this, you have Locke's theme playing for the bombast and, like, the just ensuring that you know this is in fact heroics and you're doing the right thing. Because, like, so far we've had, like, very mysterious tracks and just kind of a, like, wait, hold on, who's what's going on? Everything's kind of everything's a little spooky. Alright, now there's a reason we're bringing Locke into this, and that's because Locke, technically, is a thief. A thief who couldn't steal. Still couldn't steal. Oof. Kumama. Mithril knife, there we go. There we go. Getting a little on the worried side for how many turns I had to waste on stealing. Oh no, I forgot to steal Mog's equipment. Thanks, Moogles, we're in your debt. Think this switch will... You back with us now? You saved me? Save your thanks for the Moogles. I can't remember anything, past or present. You have amnesia? A man said my memory would come back. Give it time. You're safe with me. I give you my word. I won't leave you until your memory returns. By the way, this secret entrance might be useful someday, so don't forget it. Locke said to the player. I do love the little just blink from Terra.
This is a classroom for the beginner. Here we answer your questions about the world. Think of us as your advisors.
Alright, welcome to the tutorial classroom, in case you didn't read the manual. And also, there's a few other things that they show off in here.
This is water from a recovery spring. It'll restore your HP and MP. Such springs are located throughout the world.
This is the classroom for the beginner. Here we answer your questions, all that stuff.
If you select Wait Battle Mode from the config menu, you can take all the time you need to select spells or items without being attacked. Might want to go out and get some experience in the world before coming in here.
About Reflect, which is Reflect, but of course we run into like the character count issues. Reflect can't double reflect. Important information. Each sword tech, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, this is all stuff for, like, all the other characters in the game. And I believe this is a monster in a box. I was wrong. Oh, no. I've been trapped. Sleeping bag. Damage is more severe when caught in a pincer attack, but use care when running. Front row and back row and all that stuff. We're not going to spend too much time in here because, quite frankly, don't need it, hopefully. Environmental science. Ha, sometimes monster lurks inside treasure chest. There it is. Monster in a box. I think it's just like a were-rat. Or a Lobo. Wee, 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 wee. Valuables are often hidden in pots such as this one. Yeah, that's a save point. Speaking of save points, I think we are about coming up on end of this episode. So, well, hey, let's, we'll do two things. First is, hey, what if we just do a dumb?
Yeah, who might you be?
Ah, this is the pits. We better hightail it over southward to Figaro. Just in case you forgot where you're going. I forgot the Narsh music even continues out here. But, well, hey, we already have two characters. We're out of Narsh and on our way to Figaro. So, wahoo, hey. This game's real good. It's so good. I love it. I love it so much. And I'm sorry that I'm me. Yeah, this is hopefully going to be a good time. And I'm going to be gushing the entire way through. So, well, hey, hope you're on board for that. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Bryce. This has been VHS Play. Have yourself a lovely evening.